So we're going to order some real numbers, but this time we're going to do it from a real world context. Instead of just having plain numbers given to us, we're going to be told what those numbers mean. So this problem says 4 people have found the distance in kilometers across a canyon using 4 different methods. Their results are given in the table. Order the distances from greatest to least. So our first person, Juana, has found a distance of square root of 28 kilometers. Leanne has found a distance of 23/4 kilometers. Ryan has found 5.5 repeating kilometers, and Jackson has found 5 1/2 kilometers. So what we need to do in order to compare these is make sure they are all in the same format, and the easiest format to get that is comparable is decimals. So we're going to turn all of these into decimals. So let's go ahead and take a look at our first number, which is the square root of 28. And the easiest way to estimate this as a decimal is, of course, to use a calculator. So let's do square root 28 in the calculator. And the calculator says 5.29. I don't know how many places after the decimal we're going to need. So let's go ahead and do 4 just in case. So that's Juana with square root of 28. Let's do Leanne next. Hers is 23/4, which we're going to find by doing 23 divided by 4. So 23 divided by 4 is 5.75. So 23/4 is 5.75. The next two, we don't really need a calculator. 5.5 repeating is 5.55. Let me make that look like the rest of them, just to make sure we've got some consistency here. 5.55. And then last one, of course, 5.5. 1/2 is just 0.5, so 5.5 would be 5.5. Or if I want to make sure it's got 2 places after the decimal like the previous numbers, we could do 5.50. So when we're looking at these numbers trying to figure out which one is the greatest, which is what we're asked to do, greatest to least, the greatest we cannot find just from looking at the first number, because the first number in all of these is 5. They're all 5 point something. But the first number after the decimal, there is some difference. The first number after the decimal, the biggest number we see is a 7, and that's right here at 23/4. So that means Leanne's number, 23/4, is going to be the biggest. So Leanne at 23/4 had the largest estimate. Then when we look at our remaining 3 numbers, 2 of them have a 5 in that second spot, and that is the 5.5 repeating and the 5.5. So both of them have the same first 2 digits. They both start off with 5.5, but when we look at the third digit, or the second digit after the decimal, then there's a difference, and we can see that the top one, 5.5 repeating, has a 5 in that spot, whereas 5.5 has a 0. 5, of course, is bigger than 0, so 5.5 repeating is our next largest number, followed, of course, by 5.5. And of course, process of elimination says the only one that's left is going to be our smallest, but it's also the smallest because it has the lowest number after the decimal point, 5.2, and that is going to be our square root of 28. So if we wanted to put these in order from greatest to least using numbers, it would be 23/4, 5.5 repeating, 5.5, and square root of 28. And if we wanted to put them in order based on who did the measurement, then it would be Leanne had the largest, then Ryan, then Jackson, and finally our smallest estimate was Juana. So depending on whether we wanted to put them in order based on the actual numbers themselves or who came up with the number, our answer could be one of those 2 things.